Dinnie, and good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome to Dinnie and Virginie, the podcast. Yes, it is Dinnie and Virginie, the podcast. Still don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know what my opening is, but look, I changed my angles yet again, so now it's even more awkward, and I can stare at you one on one into your eyes, into your soul. Did not mean to startle you there, but yeah, we're testing out things here in Dinnie and Virginie LLC because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I have permission to experiment until something works, until I find my groove. And for some reason, Dinnie and Virginia, the podcast, is the one thing that I just haven't found the groove for yet. So we're just going to keep plugging and chugging and plugging and chugging and plugging and chugging. So this is going to be awkward, but it's okay. We can be awkward together. Okay. Walkie talkie with Dinnie and Virginia, which is something that I do on my other apps, by the way. So, but maybe I'll bring it to YouTube. Oh, yeah, I have brought it to YouTube. Oh my gosh. Look at me making progress, doing stuff. So yeah, this is Dinnie and Virginia, the podcast, and on today's episode, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about Northwest River Park in Chesapeake, Virginia. That is Northwest River Park in the peak of excellence in Chesapeake, Virginia. So I went there fairly recently. I believe it was last week or so. And I took some videos. So if you check my other socials, and even on here, I think I have a couple of walkthroughs. I have one walkthrough of the very first trail that I went on, but I digress. We are talking about Northwest River Park in Chesapeake, Virginia. So first and foremost, I want to say this to those of you who are new to exploring parks and leaving your home and not being indoors and instead stepping outside. This is probably not the park for you. This is definitely not a phase one, step one, beginner level park. This is definitely, in my opinion, like the final boss of parks when it comes to Chesapeake, Virginia. Northwest River Park, or it will crush you if you are a noob and you're not prepared, because this is also, it doubles as a campground. So clearly, if it's also a campground, it is meant for outdoorsy people. I am on honestly, you guys might think I'm a very outdoorsy person. I am not. I just like going to parks, but I hate bugs. I'm still iffy around animals. I like them in theory, but like when they're close to me, especially dogs nowadays, I be in the parks and them dogs don't be on the leashes and I'm just scared. So I'm not actually a nature girly. I get scared of bugs and spiders and spider webs along the walk. And so for me, I would say this is not a park that I will come to regularly at the moment, at this stage in my life. But for those of you who are more adventurous, for those of you who like camping, for those of you who enjoy the outdoors, for those of you who like to go outside and feel the ground beneath your feet and run and swim and kayak and canoe and stuff like that, this park is probably for you. So again, it is Northwest River Park in Chesapeake, Virginia. For me, it is a ways away. It's almost 40 minutes away from where I hail from in Chesapeake, because Chesapeake is big, a lot of land over there. So for some of y'all, depending on where you live, you might be like, oh, it's in Chesapeake. It's right down the street. No, it is not. No, it is not. It is not right down the street. It might take a minute for you to get there, but like I said, this is a huge, expansive area. So I would definitely recommend allotting several hours. That's right, you heard me. Allot several hours to explore this particular park because it is huge. Now, great thing about this park is that it has both a campground side for those of you who are like really in it. You're about nature, you are about that life. It has a campground side. And for those of you who just want to explore like a campy area, like a huge park, there's the day use area. So there's the campground side and the day use area. Now, when you come up on Northwest River Park, do not zoom past it. Don't like I did the first time and just zoom right on past it. It'll come up quick. It'll come up on you real quick. And then it's going to take you a long time until you can actually make a U-turn to turn around to go back. So don't pass it, follow your directions, and like don't noom right on past it, because the entrance will just like pop up on you. And when you get in there, there's plenty of parking. There's several different parking lots to pick from. So like I said, there's plenty of parking. It is currently the summer, depending on whatever time you are watching this, but for me, I'm filming it while it is the summer. Right now it is July 2nd. I went there at the end of June. It is hot. Okay, the sun is out. So when you do park, I would recommend you try to find a spot that is shaded. We are in the shaded parking area time of the summer. Do not park in the heat in the sun if you can help it. If you can find shade, park under the shade. That is exactly where I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling? Am I yelling at you guys? I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me calm this down. So, if you are able to find parking that is shaded, please, please, please park in the shade, because you don't want to come back and have your car flipping boiling. You do not want your vehicle to bake you alive. Park in the shade if you can. There are certain spots that have shades because there's trees everywhere. So just you have eyes. You can flip and find a parking spot that is shaded. But you can do what you want to do. And if there's no spots available, say la vie, whatever. So park at the main station. There is I think it's considered a ranger station slash store. There's they have rentals there, so you can rent a canoe, kayak, paddle boat, I think, and you can get out paddle board, paddle boat, paddle boat, one of the two. I don't know. And you get out there in the water, and you can actually do water stuff. I don't know. I'm not a water girly. I don't really like water. So for those of you who love water, a lot of water activities happening at Northwest River Park, and you can rent it or you can bring your own stuff like that. So there's that. I think you can also rent bikes potentially. So they recommend you rent bikes because it is flipping huge. Like I said, it's a gigantic area, lots and lots of trails, and lots of little trails and longer trails. So some of the trails will be like 1 mile, 2 miles, and then other areas will be like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I don't have the capacity. So for those of you who like to walk, definitely recommend this park because there are tons and tons and tons of trails, tons and tons of walkable area. Now there is water, there is land, there's a store, and there is a restroom. For those of you who don't know, I love it when there's an actual restroom building for us to use because a lot of the parks, they either don't have anything whatsoever or they have a porta potty, and I am not a porta potty girly. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna just leave. I'm not using that porta potty if I can help it. I'm gonna just leave. So this one fortunately does have an actual restroom building. Now it's not like loaded with stalls. There aren't like a bunch of stalls over there, but there are a couple of stalls in there, and it's an actual building. So I appreciate that. At the very front, in the middle, where the ranger station and the store is, and the rentals and stuff like that. So easily accessible. Uh, Probably if you're new to parks and stuff like that, definitely take a picture of the map or something so that you don't get lost. Because like I said, this place is expansive, but at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily be super concerned about getting lost just because like your limits and you're not gonna be like chucking it 5 miles in and be like, oh shoot, I should turn back. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. So for me, I found one trail. It was 2 miles. So I was like, I know this trail is 2 miles. So I'm just going to keep walking the trail until it ends. And that's what I did. And so it spat me out in the middle. And so I was able to just walk right back to the beginning where I always just go in the direction of the store to get back to home base. So if you see a sign that says river or store or whatever in store, just always go in the direction of the store and you can get back to home base and you can find your vehicle and just be on your merry little way. So yes, this is Northwest River Park in Chesapeake, Virginia. Quite an expansive park. And that's all I have to say because someone is coming home. So until next time, Dinny out. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And remember, it is yet another beautiful day here in VA.